right, everybody. It's time to say hi. I am Mo for Mystic Oracle, and it's time. I've shot several videos over the past couple of months and just kept them to myself, and it's time for this eagle to fly. So, anyways, I tend to get, dare I say, profound revelations, but that sounds kind of like creepy and arrogant. It's just that they're large, and anyways, it's time to get them out and not keep them in. If it can help you and help you step into your being, then let's do this thing. So, anyways, what you can see, they had come out and they've been out for a handful of days as I was sitting in this energy. And being one who's very calculating with my words, I want to make sure that if I give you knowledge, aka information, that it's trimmed down, that it's literally, there's no superfluous, no fluff, no cotton candy, those type of things, that you can take these into your mind and into your field and think about them and let them merge and be like road signs on your path. So, anyways, I get downloads in many ways, and one way is these symbology type drawings. I do altar cards for people, and it's not just something that's pretty to look at, their manifestation card to bring about your true self, your life that you're meant to live. And it's just because I see it as it is, but it also happens for time and space as well, and that's what's going on right now. So I heard clearly at 12:05 midnight a.m. on the 24th is like, hang on, because this coming. So many people have been believing and believing and believing and believing and didn't know what was going on. And we were hearing other people, if you tune into a handful of tarot readers or intuitives, you've been hearing about wait until winter, it's coming with winter, and everybody's like, what is that about? Well, bam, it hit me. The understanding came about is now, today is the day that, depend on when this loads, today is the 25th, and that's when Pluto goes retrograde. And so what you're seeing going on here is what's going on behind the curtain, kind of like Oz. All right, what's going on behind the curtain. And the irony is, for many of us, Pluto direct is actually the difficult time. So we've been believing and wondering why we're not seeing the very things that we're seeing come about, and knowing that no lies were being told as to how it felt and what was coming. It was like, why am I not seeing this happen around me? And it's because we've got all that delusion and the testing and the mental shape shifting and morphing and testing and teasing and taunting going on. And if we know that's what it is, we don't have to fall prey for it. I love this quote I read years ago. It said, it doesn't matter what people call you, it matters what you listen to. And that's kind of the game of Pluto that's been going on here. So we could take a look at that, but first I just want to show this drawing for a minute of part of what came out, to keep this, let me back it up some so you can see the whole thing. So it started out with a blanket. And ironically, this is sort of the sun, but right now it's really like Pluto is sitting in the place of the sun. It's like it's blocking our clarity, our direct knowledge is what I should say. It's blocking what we're seeing, which is not an issue if you're aware of it. Once you're aware of what's going on, you can work with any situation. Y'all are smart, you're talented, you're devoted. I believe in you. I know you can do it. So anyways, it's like time to get out of bed and receive the fruits of what's going on, because Pluto is almost like the covers pulling down like blinders and keeping us in the dark. And as we know, things grow in the dark, but we see them in the light, right? And we want to taste some of that nice juicy peachiness coming on in this time. But anyways, it's about, like the pupil up here is the center of darkness, and that's the passageway in which it comes in now. So the message here is begin to sing your song, begin to be cheerful, begin to do happy dances, kind of get your beat back. Don't be discouraged about these past months. I'll get to that in just a second, because you haven't truly been disillusioned. That was the trick. It was an inverse, but it's actually quite simple if you're a gardener. You know, you have seed time, then you have harvest. You put things into the ground knowing that tomatoes gonna come. The seed doesn't look like the fruit. The sprout doesn't look like the seed. The plant doesn't look like the sprout. And the fruit, which a tomato is actually a fruit, but the fruit slash vegetable or whatever doesn't look like the tree. And that's okay. So that's what I'm here to tell you is what seemed like foolishness and disillusionment and like got you really bound up, got me really bound up and would test me and twist me and things like that, which also plays into the switching of houses for the North Node and South Node, which is coming on the 5th. So that's right about a week from now. That's a twisting and a serpentine thing. And so we can really feel, it'll feel familiar to like everyday earthly things of being had, being shammed, being scanned, lying to ourselves, playing the fool, that type of thing. But it hasn't genuinely been that, okay? So let your positive vibes, your expectation, your anticipation, your happiness, your cheerfulness, your exuberance begin to pop back up. Let it flow. Let your sun come out. Let's hop up out of that bed, the bed that we've been in dreaming, which has not been wrong. That's the seed in the ground. That's the seedling sprouting up, okay? But we're coming up to time of bearing fruit, all right? So, because after that, the popping out of bed, the fruit began to appear and they were being drawn on a bit at a time. And I love that it's living because it's connected. It's not removed yet. So, you know, staying connected to your juiciness, your vibrance, your hopefulness. And the leaves are nice and open. They're like hands being receptive. They're ready. And as that's going on, this wave of light, like they say, we get what we give. And so what you're, you know, giving to yourself, what you're believing, what you're feeding yourself is putting out, begins to let you taste and see. It's like those things that were hidden in the dark. These are your dreams, okay? And they're channeling down and you're tasting it. And you're not just tasting it amazingly with your human mouth, right? Your soul's being quenched as well. That's why there are two mouths here. And it's that pathway, that road kind of coming from the crazy Pluto thing going on in here and letting your dreams come forth, all right? And trusting in how this process is going. And don't be fooled because it's very earthy, very practical. But anyways, okay. So it comes down to, well, it'll soon be harvest time, all right, y'all? And that's coming sooner than we know. And that will be the justice, is because you held on, you continued to believe. And even though you twisted and turned, you found your way out of that to be positive, cheerful, believing again. Then the celebration comes, all right? And then the balance. This is forces being kept in balance here. And peacefully, should I say. Anyways, and not thinking about one day, but thinking about 2 days. There's a window of opportunity going on this year. And yes, I have some notes because a friend asked me about this. Dharma asked me about this. And when I began to crack my mind open to look at the package of what was going on, the channel already started. The flow already started. So I wanted to make sure I didn't miss it because it will not repeat itself. So anyways, get yourself out of bed. Be happy again. Start dreaming. Let your dreams come on out. Be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, all of that. The harvest is coming. Celebrate. Don't think about 1 day. Think about 2 days. Okay? That's the little trick going on there. And so I told you a bit about Pluto. Well, so Pluto is going retrograde. That's the little secret of what's going on here. It's ironic. Let me just say it as what it is. That was the false disillusionment. Is we've been believing all this time and not understanding. And so that epiphany, that channel that came through at midnight 05 was, you better hold on to your britches and get ready. Because everything that you were believing for that you didn't see, those things that were really rooted in you, okay? Not the stuff you've sifted out since, but the things that remain that you were still kind of perplexed, but incredibly hopeful, and perplexed and hopeful. Those things, they're going to begin to come. Okay, so that's what the winter is about, that has been being spoken of, is when Pluto goes retrograde. What we're doing is, as it's turning, we're going to begin that garden plant, that tomato plant is bearing blossoms, and they're being fertilized, pollinated by the wind, and it starts bearing fruit, and the fruit's developing. Well, what we're going to see is we're going to begin to have everything that we believe for that didn't occur in these last months. They weren't occurring above ground, okay? They weren't occurring in, quote, what people call the 3D, the physical, tangible pinnacle round, okay? The coins round. And those are just things that are tangible. They're earthy. They're 3D to me. It's not just money and other things like that. It's like it takes form, and you can taste it and see it, touch it, smell it, that sort of thing. So anyways, to understand that winter's coming now, okay? That's where we're entering physically, time-wise, spring and summer. In retrograde, Pluto retrograde will be backtracking into winter and fall, okay? And this retrograde lasts till October 3rd or October 4th or whatever. But that's also around the same time last year that the other one wrapped up, which is when a lot of us, these big waves of passion and faith and belief and putting a struggle behind and starting into new dreaming was happening, okay? So hopefully that makes sense into your mind. But that's what is being meant about the winter. Now, these things will begin to tie themselves up and wrap themselves up and be completed as winter approaches. But that doesn't mean you have to wait till then to enjoy the fruits thereof. The fruits, this is the season of the fruits and the enjoyment of such, okay? And the development and seeing it actually happen for what you've been believing, okay? So hang in there. It's just moments. And they'll build and grow. Okay. So that's the winter explanation. We've hopped out of bed. We've gotten positive, cheerful. We've upped our vibe again. All right. And I talked about the nodes. Okay. And that's why we've been twisting and turning so much, because those are switching. Yeah, I'll just read as it says. The window, which is the square. Okay, there's lots of squares going on this year, and the Jupiter-Pluto stuff going on, the mind tricks and things. Anyways, it's an opening in time. And most are fooled and dazed by the intensity of the planetary alignments and transits at this time. So they're not seeing the window of this opportunity. The shift of, okay, I know what this is about. So there is a big square. I'll get into that. So there's a big window of opportunity from what I've been told from now through February 21st of 2021. And squares are often seen as something extremely difficult in astrology and things like that, but I see them as windows of opportunity. Because if you're prepared for them, and you're aware of them, or vice versa, or any combination thereof, it's just like this Plutonian stuff going on. You can see it for what it is. You can look at your gusto, your gumption, your grit, and go, okay, where do I need to amp that up or tone it down some to be able to match this energy and go forward, go through? Well, so this window of opportunity has been forming for a very long time. And what is available is for those who will see it, not just those who've done their work. That's the thing. This isn't a deserving thing. It is more of it's revelatory. So it's an eye-opener. Okay? So for those who are willing to see it and willing to step forward into that, what would seem to be unknown, but it's actually quite known. It's our internal master. It's the part of ourselves that, the true part, the part that wasn't coming into a world where people are learning and growing at the same time that we're developing. That means if you've been a parent, the learning curve that we have of getting to know not just how to raise a child, but how to raise that child. And then there are bullies or other situations going on, or job losses or COVID or whatever. All those things that tumble us around in the washer and dryer and shape us. It's being able to, this window of opportunity is being able to leave our existence behind and accept ourselves, to step into our beingness, to be these light beings in the earthly realm. And Like if you know your baseline nature is happy, that you're always happy and exuberant, that it's actually not hard, it's not effort, it's simply choice, and it's easy because it's just a choice. So you go, well, that's how I respond to these things. Maybe, well, let's say somebody who has a gift of singing, or even somebody who just has a heart for singing. When troubles come, they start singing, and it's that becomes our default mechanism. Our default nature is the way that we're made, not just how we adapted to difficulty. It's kind of like going from melancholy, indigo, flickering, light, dark, to just pure light, just yourself. But that's the window of opportunity, to be able to step into that and not keep being duped and going through the same cycles and patterns for at least, it says, the next 8 years. Sometimes there are little like wormholes where you can jump out before that, but there's also, that's a cycle within a cycle. There's one even bigger than the 8 years. But anyway, so let's see. To be who you truly are outside of space and time. Okay, to be eternal. Draw back into your energy a little bit and be more of an observer of your own life, even when around others. No more letting your mind be duped, y'all. Okay? Every time thoughts press in to make you feel dark, broody, melancholy, shut them down. Just shut them down. Say, that's not me. Imagine you binding them in your mind and throwing them out to the trash, taking them out. Okay? But don't let them. Don't entertain them. Don't even endure them. I give you permission. I tell y'all, cast them out. Bind them up and throw them into that trash bin, okay? And so anyways, they're not you. That's not how we're created. You will save the next 8 years of your life from misery, okay? So just do that little bit of work. And when you start to work it, they'll come a little more frequently, and then eventually it'll begin to abate. And when you see them show back up, just keep some mental rope, tie those suckers up, and toss them out. That's the thing, is we're no longer tying ourselves up. We're tying those things up, and we're sending them out, those thoughts, those beings. Keep it real and be who you truly are. Over the next 6 to 8 weeks, there's going to be some shifting, and it'll start slowing down in September, finally landing around October, November. And for me, that's a lot of these transits going on, but that also has a lot to do with the Pluto retrograde going on. So anyways, that window will begin to shift around that time and begin to seem like it's getting smaller, but actually it's receding on the horizon line. So I just encourage you to begin to take these steps every day. And it's not big to-dos. It's just revitalizing your happiness, your cheerfulness, your mindset towards what you've been investing yourself into since around early October, mid-October of 2019. Okay? And get up out of bed, ready to go, excited, cheerful, on whatever that is or how that looks for you. And then we're going to look here real quick. Okay? So we've got the 5 of Wind going on. You see? See that here's all, this is like very much, to me, Pluto direct, very much the mindset, because it's like, it's up in your face. It's been in your grill, right? Here's your grill. Okay, and we can see blood stain. There's been battle. There's been real wounding. Like, it's genuinely hurt. It's been extremely difficult. But underneath that, y'all, we've got the Empress. Male or female, this doesn't matter. We've got this abundance, this ease, this like, oh yeah, it's all good. Oh, everybody, you want to come over and have hors d'oeuvres? It's that kind of a ease. It's really just rising to the occasion of life. Okay, and you see the rivers flowing out from her feet. That's that peace. That's that going on. Is that not the complete contrast of what's going on here? So that's really what we're dealing with. Okay, so this is how things have been. This is more retrograde. But for those who don't know it and are fearing the retrograde, it's going to keep looking like this and thinking, see, I was a fool. I knew I was. And you're going to begin to fulfill this. Don't do that. Okay? This isn't me. This is not me telling you how it is. I'm just letting you know how it functions. Okay? So that, yourself will begin to show you. how this exists in your life, how this mindset of, the great spirit of the illumination going on around, this is also sort of a shield of protection around your mind. Do you see? Okay. To begin to produce that, it's called the reticular activating system. That's the quote, what you seek seeks you. So really, if you start seeing this and being teased by the concern of the retrograde and the nodes shifting, it's gonna sprout up. And I'd really, really rather have so many of you going here. I mean, that makes my heart sing. You talk about the song over here. What part of my song over here is really having people be able to step up to the line because they know it's there. And they're like, I don't have to stand for that. And it's not about other people. It's about the energies that are swirling around you, okay? And so over here, this one card, now mind you, my decks are all upright. This card came out inverted, and this is actually part of the key of how I think I got the insight, because we do have an open channel to where fresh new information can come in, because as the world or the collective of human beings begin to shift and change in certain directions, there are slight updates. Anybody who uses digital technology, you understand that it's like, oh, we've made a new little update. Here's a new improvement we can make. We fixed a glitch, that sort of thing. So this little channel of being open, okay, even though it was like, it's generally like somebody keeping their options open, it's not based on doubt or anything. It's just really me staying available to the giftings. Like there's one Seven of Cups card that has the different planetary symbols coming out of it, and it's being staying open to how to work well with the opportunities coming our way. We could call them challenges, but really when you see them for what they are, they're benefits and things like that if you know how to respond, right? And so that was a beautiful little opening there. It's got a lot of balance of the earth energy where we live going on here. Because to me, y'all, so much of it's more about the 4D. Not the 5D or the 3D. It's how we come into balance on that. And because if I'm in the 4D, I've got one hand in the 3D and one in the 5D. So I'm balanced, okay? Let me show you one more time. See? Okay, and I love that because it's inverted, it's kind of like mind over matter, right? And that's how you bring the matter down. That's how you manifest these things. That's how you'll begin to see seeds of this showing up in your life, as opposed to the mayhem that was kind of going on these last months. And we're just waving. I'm just here, y'all, on blast. I'm waving away that doubt, fanning it away, clearing your mental space, cleaning out your heart, all right? Next we have, let's see, is a death card, but you notice there aren't any feet going on here. I really just see it as a transformation of the environment you're in, and that doesn't necessarily mean the people or places, even though it is, because the restrictions on like quarantine or sequestering is beginning to change and loosen and lighten. But it's also, what are you going to do with the freedom that you begin to have around you? Well, that's also going to be able to occur on a mind state, right? Because as the physical changes around us, we can take that same principle and correlate it to what we've been processing internally. And so there's a lot available to here. And the way this card operates in the energy, and it makes me feel a lot like the magician. But because it's like having all this at your disposal, the power of the hand and the balance, like the masculine, feminine, that going on, of like your action and your rest, your contemplation and your decision, those type of things. But it feels a lot like the magician, where the magician looks to create. Death looks to, we'll just say destroy, to remove, like binding up those, this black cloud, these Plutonian thoughts, and throwing out to the trash, giving yourself permission to clean up and clear out and to decide what you like around you. If you despise gossip and it starts to happen, you don't have to give people a 5-point lecture. You're free to get up and walk out. Or you're free to say to them, I really like that person, and then go on with your day. That's about shifting the environment. It's really like the thermostat versus the thermometer. The thermostat sets the environment around them. So although it looks freaky, and it could be if we didn't understand just how basic, earthly basic it is in human functioning, is that, change my environment. If it's an environment you can't change, you can change by walking out, right? or you can change by speaking up. But they're always they're softer right now. It's more yin. It's very simple things like that. It's not adding ripples or drama to the water, okay? And the death is over the earth brother, all right? Or as some would know, the Knight of Pentacles. I don't have an issue with him. He could seem slow moving, but what this card means to me so much in this deck, because he's the sun. He's absolutely beautiful. I'm coming in again, and I love that this is right beneath the death card with no feet, because we're not seeing feet. We're not seeing the action, that movement, but we're seeing illumination. We're seeing a broad light being shined onto your path. You know, it's like headlights. Who would drive in the dark if there are no street lamps, no headlamps, no whatever? You wouldn't go at that speed, right? So in a sense, this is to me a faster Knight of Pentacles. There's the illumination, so it's being able to see a great deal of your path, which enables you to move at whatever pace you feel comfortable with. But it's also the sun. And this one to me literally just means day by day. Doing it day by day. And that bounces us back to this card. Remember how the 4D, staying open to how things adjust and move as we go along. It's just like your GPS. You might be semi-familiar with where you're going, and but the directions change. They're not wrong. Your destination doesn't change, okay? Which is over here. It doesn't change, or actually, it's this guy. Because coming to yourself is a way of coming home, okay? But it's really about taking it day by day, because you might need to go 243 miles north on interstate, blah, blah, blah. But eventually it'll say, get off at exit 23 and head south. That doesn't mean all of a sudden the whole world changed and now you were all wrong. It's literally like, day by day by day. Now today's the day that we need to hang a right or hang a left or sit down, take a cool little break or hang out with some friends, all right? But it's very peaceful. It's very serene, but there's a lot of warm, spread out intense energy rather than a laser beam that could burn a hole through anything. It's giving you a beauty tan. It's warming your soil, okay? It's making things grow like what we've got over here, okay? Day by day. And doing it till it's sweet. Not just plump and juicy, but until they're sweet. All right, so here we have another, okay? This is a devil. I'm Capricorn, so it's no big deal to me. I'm often like, okay, we got to get into the nitty gritty of this and figure out how to break it down, break the system down to the day by day or the components or the organization. That's often where it can get people, because it can get up in your head, and up can seem down, left can seem right, forward, backwards. It just gets all around. You can play some tricks. But that to me was where we headed from 20 minutes ago. That was what we've now left in the rearview mirror. It was really just recognizing that, oh, wait, okay, Pluto retrograde is going to begin to bring in the harvest of what I've sown for the last 5 to 6 months. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't stupid. I wasn't following out in those same patterns, because I really, from my heart, was trying to live different, believe different, you know, and stay true and stay more focused and stay positive and hopeful and happy. So that's kind of what we left behind here, is that really just keeping yourself, yanking your own chain, should I say, having yourself by the neck, leading yourself around like a dog, okay? But don't talk to yourself that way. Tell yourself you're sweet, you're cute, you're smart. Say all those things. Your brain, your spirit loves to hear that, okay? So anyways, we moved on from that, and that's if you're opening to realize this is what has been going on the surface. Okay, and this is what's going to appear to keep going on the surface, but that's not actually real. We're down here now, all right? So don't fall for that, and don't yell at it, and don't get out of the 4D balance. Don't bend this way or that, or be too soft-spoken or too rough. Don't ignore it. Bind it up, throw it out in the trash bin. But don't get all, you ain't gonna have me and da-da-da-da, because then you're right back in this energy. And if you're in this energy, you're not in this energy. You see that? The 9 of Earth, the 9 of Pentacles, the happiness. I love this. It's almost like a game board, a grid all lit up. Or if anybody's ever done a Rubik's Cube and you did it without popping the cubes loose, oh my God, I'm telling you, this is how your face would look. It's so fantastic. But I love that down here, it's as if the 4D is laying down. Okay? You see it? Woo! I'm shooting you that insight. Y'all ready? You receiving it? There we go. That's all right. You gotta love me, huh? But anyways, it's called the zenith. It's like the pinnacle, and it's when you fully embody yourself, when you've completed it. It's something to celebrate. Number one, it's something to be proud of. Number two, but you also don't just keep staying there. That to me, that 10th pinnacle is the cube itself. It's that for many people, it doesn't have one side. You've done this over and over and over again. So when I said that 8 years was a cycle, but it was within a larger cycle of 10 years, 20 years, 40 years of having been built this cube going on here of complete and total happiness and stepping outside of linear time and space and being able to be in the sphere of life. All right. So that's what's beneath the devil. It's really your fine self, your rich, beautiful, wonderful self. And let me tell you, that richness is your experience. That richness is the cultivation of your character. That richness is your hopefulness and your friendliness and your loving kindness. It's all those things. And from that root come all the fruits. It comes all the earth things. Remember about the 4D, right? That's the 4D, okay? Coming into the 3D, but it's up in the air, so it's also the 5D too. So when they come all together, 3 plus 5 equal 8, and 8 is 4 plus 4, right? So now you get me. That's the cube kind of going on there, okay? And I just have some supporting cards over here of really, this is just more like our human environment, like the globe itself, Earth coming into balance, right? So that it can flourish again. The golden light that's coming up from the core of the earth, the recycling power of even when things have been difficult or hard, they become fertile, right? If you give them the time and the space and the oxygen to become healthy, right? So that's what we've got going on over there. And then, strangely enough, this is the finale. Okay. This deck that I have has a mystery card. This deck's called Tarot of the Spirit. It's fantastic. It was the first one I got. 1995, I think. But anyways, and to me, it's like into the unknown, into the mystery. But as I've said, it's like our inner master. It's the part of ourselves that like, that makes me so mad. But inside, it's like, but not really. That makes me want to this and that. And I could such and so. And it's like, but I know that's not best. All this, all that, and I'll move on. It's the calm part, is the eternal part of us. And that's what we're entering into here. If you step through that window of opportunity, right? And part of that really just comes from acknowledging how 5D or these conceptual spiritual things or these visionary things, not being duped by them, by being able to see it like a garden, right? Or like the sunshine, taking it day by day and putting it at a pace, a speed, a conversion rate that matches the tone and the speed is how things move here in the 3D. Okay, without pulling yourself apart. Remember, 4D, one hand in the 5D, one hand in the 3D, bringing it together in balance. But wait, so let me show you. Yeah. Okay. And as we do that, things begin to move, okay? The future is to the left, which hopefully this is showing up to the left of y'all. So if not, just know the chariot is supposed to be on the left, right? The 7, the return of energy. And it's the return to who we really are inside. The parts that we sold out, cut off, traded in over the years, or other people pruned off of us, or graffitied or whatever. It's all those things coming back to their true state. Okay, being restored, being renewed. Anyways, that's what we got going on here. But it's coming from that balance. And I love it because it's kind of like you've got the star, but part of it is submerged here. And we've got more of that wintry feel going on down beneath, but it's really being established, like committed Because again, there are no feet, you see. And so I can't quite say rooted and grounded. It's like literally being committed to this, being established and committed, and knowing that when you want to hurry up and make a decision or show this person, or I'll run away from that, or I'll do this and that, and we start trying to shake and fumble between the 3 to 5 instead of holding in that 4, being in that cube, being in that zenith. And all of a sudden we get quiet and listen to our master teacher inside, our future self, our eternal part, and think, oh, that's right. Let me just send out my message. And the message might be, oh, I'm really stressing right now. I could use a little help. And before you know it, you feel a cool breeze blow across you, or a friend sends you a little text, or something in you just loosens and you feel a little giggle, okay, rising up. Or, you think, I'll go for a run. That's what I got to do. And you get a few steps in, you're like, I feel so much better. Whatever it is, it's whatever the things are, day by day, moment by moment, even things you might not have known about yourself. That's the journey. That's the path that's really coming. And so that was a download that I was given. It actually only took like 2 snaps of a finger, but to speak it takes a while. And these were the oracle cards that came out alongside it, in case anyone needs these. I love that the little owl is all peaceful and smiley there. It's that deep knowing of satisfaction. He's not flying around. He's not looking around. She not spin its head around checking this out, checking that out. Let me double check, recheck. Let me watch one more video. Let me check again. Let me check. No, it's really just all chill. All chill. You see how chill the moon, the mind is right here? Okay, you see this rock. It's really our sort of our earth, but also it has a face. So to me, it makes me think of the sun. And it's just that letting it shine and radiate on the inside. Just that when I say that positive knowing, I really mean that affirmation, that being able to commit. And wow, I just heard commit and calm down. Wow. Okay, hello. Let me tell you, I just had to take that too. So bam, let's take that hit together, y'all. All right. And from there, so that's like, I can't say these messages are for 7 days because it's 6 to 8 weeks, and also through February 21st and forever and ever, amen. But it's also like, this is today, and it's kind of going into a deeper gobstopper layer in a Willy Wonka world. And then here we've got the thinker. We got the double 4, okay? It's about really bringing that order and looking at the cube of your life, looking at it dimensionally, in that eternal perspective, spherically, right? But here, what I'd see is the challenge coming up, is this is someone she's got her dance shoes on, got wings, free to dance and play, and is sitting down on the blocks of logic, feeling like, God, do I have to? I don't want to. And kind of, to me, just like tomorrow, you might kind of flicker a little bit back and forth between these, and that's a good thing. You're not supposed to listen to what I say. You're supposed to listen to what you hear. Okay? Your spirit, your guides, the interpretation is how we don't eat the tea leaves. We put them in the water, and the water and the tea become their own thing. All right? So let it move through you, and listen to your wisdom that rises up. That's why this is not advice. This is just information I'm giving you. Okay? And you begin to assimilate it and apply it in your life. That's what makes our world fantastic. I love the big box of crayons, y'all. So that's the thing here is that thinking, and it's more in the sense of the boggy type, the logic of, why do I have to, as if you only have one half of your brain. But part of this is about becoming whole-brained and realizing it's not this or that. It's like, oh, let me take a breath. Let me let this mull through. Why don't I ask myself and then let the answer pop up later? Okay? And then the following day, it's like, let's say this is day 1, day 2, this is day 3, and then we got 7 of them here. All right, so we've got 52 going on. We've got mending. But I love it because it's not just something you do alone. So whether these are your guides, whether it's your future self, whether it's getting in touch with that part of you of like, well, yeah, I always felt like I could be patient. And you find out that patience is something you really enjoy. It's getting to know that the eternal part of yourself, the flawless part, should I say? Don't be offended, people. Listen to the truth behind what's being said there. But I love that they're working on their banners. So to me, it's and they've got their wings and they're sitting down doing some earth work, but it's knowing that the celebration is coming. And kind of what I really see here is mending a lot of some of the tears that have come from the struggle of the last, especially the last 2 weeks, y'all. That's where we're kind of feeling the whipping of the tail of the North Node and South Node, or as some people know, Rahu and Ketu. Those going on, the head, the tail, the head, the tail, the trickery, the very Plutonian thing going on along with it. So mending some of those things where you weren't too sure, or where you made a quick decision and kind of went this way, and they're like, no, but I think it's that. It's simplified. It's healing your great divide. Okay? Day 4. We've got number 35 coming about. Okay, the loyal heart. Here we see the owls. They're facing each other. To me, this is like the whole-mindedness. When we come into whole-mindedness, we really come into heart-centeredness. And because you don't turn on yourself. Yeah, you're not throwing yourself under the bus. You're not re-examining, being cynical, melancholy, flickering. Because to me, indigo, when you see the color, it literally flickers. But this is becoming stable. It's becoming unified and sacred to yourself. And it's like the Empress here. Remember the river of peace flowing out from her feet, and that shield of protection around the mind? Is just that state of being. And it's knowing that time is doing its thing, so we're no longer having that, remember, that great divide, that struggle, that push, that pull. In the brain, it's called the Corpus Callosum. And it actually begins to seal up around age 10 to 12, except for the most frequently used areas. But you'll find old texts and things that talk about people being whole-brained. And so that's kind of what I feel is going on here. It's undivided. And you have an undivided brain. You have an undivided heart. And your heart helps you see things through. Okay? So lots of love to you. Lots of clarity and ease of mending. And not a lot of mentality to go around it. But really just the integration of it. What you know, allowing it to be. Okay? That's my hope for you. And then day 5. Okay, here we go. Nitty gritty. Number 42. It's time to chop wood to get to work. And what I would say is based on what we saw over here and what we know from our big energy card over here is whistle while you work. All right? So just set to it and remind yourself that there are rewards at the end of it. That the work is not to be despised. It's great fitness, right? Fitness of mind, body, soul, and of your spirit. You see the light coming down. You see the banners of celebration, the doors open, looking out on new horizons. That's what you're working towards, is this new horizon, this opening, that window of opportunity, okay? You are no fool. We're all fools. We're the good kind of fool. And that's an open channel, one that's ready to learn, one that adapts and moves along day by day, right? Okay? And, pause. So right under this, I forgot to show you all the great work. But see, that lines up with Mr. Chariot thing. Getting things moving here. And that's why we check back in and we readjust and recalibrate like our GPS. Okay? Because it's a lot more complex than we know, but that's why we slow down and take it day by day. It's not that it's actually slow. It's at the speed of Earth, at the speed of 3D. Okay? Take the speed of light and slow it down to the speed of matter. And that's how you manifest. Boom, boom. Okay, and here's number 39. I love it. We got more celebration at the top, but she's waking up. Remember over here? She's getting out of that bed. She's like, you know what? I've been trying this for a few days. This is day 6 now. It's like, I really am starting to see some of this show up. That reticular activating system showing me some good things happening. I've got friends that are nice to me. I had a good laugh the other day. I went to bed early because I felt all relaxed, like I didn't have to study one more thing or figure one more thing out. You know, it's all that kind of coming through. And again, we see the purple. So it's more like, you know, crown chakra. And to me, we can think intuitive and all that. But really, I think heavy on the word crown. And you got to hold your head up to keep your crown on, you know? And so it's not getting, it's that 4D. You're not looking down too much, up too much, around too much. It's just really being centered in the present, because that's the only place where the future exists. Okay? So binding up, tossing out that past, and living in your present, waking up in it. I love it because it's like a temple. She's at the top of a pillar. It's something where you put something special. It's celebrated, expected, you know? Expect others to celebrate with you. As you celebrate with them, y'all, I'm telling you, I'm turning mental cartwheels right now for y'all. Seeing everybody, being able to step right into this, not because I'm anything. I just happened to pick up the phone when the message came through. And I'm like, ah! So much that this is my first video that I will actually post because they're like, Joy, you've got to tell them. So anyways, I'm glad I got to meet you today through this. And we'll be wrapping up with this final card. This is number 32. I love it. It's the here and now. Wow. That's what I just said. There is no future in the past. The future exists in the present. Okay? And so the main thing we learn is what from the past is past. P-A-S-S-E-D. It needs to go. There are certain things that do travel forward. They're timeless, but there are other things that are P-A-S-S-E-D. And therefore, toss them up. Throw them out. Share. And by that, you know what I mean. No offense here. We are in a offense-free environment, right? I already cleaned up that environment. I love you guys. Let's get in with the flow of where I'm saying. So come into the present. Disperse those goods, materials, however they need to be, and trust your soul and your spirit to lead and guide you through that. But I love it. Here we've got, it's more like, looking out. Okay, and so we've gone from here of cleaning up, doing the work, sorting, sifting through, begin to see the light, the new stuff showing up, that how your spirit and mind have begun to resonate to bring in the life and continue on this path, right, during the retrogrades. And so here it says past and future, and it's just being centered in the present, just hovering right above it, all right? And we've got hearts, we've got love floating all around. It's just right above the earth, but also in the clouds, so we're still in our atmosphere. To me, that's very much the 4D. You haven't lost touch with either world. But I love that she's come on out of the egg. Didn't even have to tear up her home. Didn't have to tear up her life. Your life doesn't have to look radically transformed or changed. This is really going back to that state of the heart, becoming whole-minded so you can be wholehearted. Okay? But that's it. I don't know what else to say except I believe in you. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm glad we found each other. I'm clapping for you. I'm saying, go team. Y'all get this thing. I want your dreams coming true, your beautiful dreams, your dreams of life and of love and of happiness, and that smile is genuinely on your face, that your heart is lit up like this, that you keep that connection and the calmness, the ease of knowing that day by day, big stuff is happening. The details are going on down here, right? And it's coming on in. It's doing that thing. There are many it's. We won't even get into them because it's bigger than that, all right? So, anyways, I hope to see y'all again. Tune in again. Check out some more. This stuff comes in all the time. I don't know how all it's going to go from here, whether you'll ever see my face or not or whatever. But there's a lot to share in our present/future 4D stuff. This is Mo, aka Joy, saying bye. Love you. Bye for now.